On this episode of Bus Talk, I'm going to share the 5 tips I give new school bus drivers. And on the lighter side, I'm going to share some art that children have made for me.
This channel covers all stuff about school bus driving. It's about getting kids to and from school safely to support learning. We'll talk about the lighter side of the student transport system. My wife and I married over 30 years ago. We raised 2 adult sons. We love our pets. I had a demanding and stressful career. In 2018, we decided to leave the rat race behind. I trained to be a school bus driver. This is the story of the joys and frustrations of driving big yellow machines.
Hi, this is Paul from Bus Talk. At Bus Talk, we talk about all kinds of stuff having to do with school bus driving. We focus on getting kids to and from school safely to promote learning. So today I'm going to talk about the 5 things I tell new school bus drivers that I've learned in my experience. The first thing is protect your right. When you're driving the school bus and you're in the driver's compartment up in the front left, the right-hand side is where you have the least amount of visibility. You have to be in your right-hand mirrors, watching where that rear right wheel is hitting the pavement and being on guard at all times. It's particularly important for the children because the children are going to approach your bus and depart from your bus on the right-hand side. In California, the California Highway Patrol defines the danger zone around the school bus as a 12-foot area all the way around the bus. But the most dangerous area is on the right and the front of the bus where you have the least amount of visibility. So remember, protect your right. The second thing I always tell new school bus drivers is take what you need. That means you operate the bus so that you're safely making maneuvers and avoiding collision. And sometimes that means you do have to cross over into another lane or perhaps an opposite lane to be able to safely turn the bus. So I tell them you take what you need in terms of operating the bus safely. The next thing is you can always stop. There's exceptions. You're driving on the freeway. You can't always stop. But if you're in a difficult situation, narrow streets, parked cars, and traffic causes a tight area where you can't safely pass, stop the bus. Allow the traffic to move around you so that you can safely proceed. This is how often happens making turns where you have traffic making a left-hand turn or in the number 1 lane and going the other direction, and there's just not room for you to be able to safely make that right-hand maneuver without your right wheel jumping the curb. In that case, stop. Stop the bus, allow the vehicles to maneuver around you until you can safely proceed. The next thing I tell new drivers, and these things have to do more with how your relationship with the children. I always tell them, build relations with the children through respect. Now, I'm a dad. I raised 2 sons. I kind of use a lot of the parenting skills that I learned raising 2 kids, working with the children on the bus. But I don't talk down to them. I let them know clearly what the expectations are. And then I try to build relationships with them because some of the most fulfilling relationships are with the children. And it can bring you a lot of joy. There's 80% of the kids are going to be great. There's about 20% of the kids they're going to test you. And then of that 20%, there's going to be a small group that are really going to test you. If you're new on a route or you're new as a school bus driver, you need from the very beginning to demand respect from the children and then build friendships and relationships with them. And it can be really rewarding. I've driven some kids for a couple years now, and you see them come up through junior high and high school, and then they invite you to their high school graduation. It feels really good. but build relationships with your kids through respect. The last thing is keep a diary. It doesn't have to be complicated. I carry a small notebook with me, and I write down, of course, the hours I work, and I write other little notes that remind me of what happened that day. They don't have to be complicated. I write about interactions with the children to remind me of issues, especially around discipline. I also write about mechanical things that might happen on the bus or circumstances that happen. And what this does is helps you remember, because when you start getting into the day-to-day grind, kind of one day blends into the next. And if you have it written down in a diary, then when it's time to go back and remember, especially around disciplinary issues with the children, you can go, oh, this child I had to warn about wearing their safety belt on this day. And on this day, I had to tell them to keep their backpack out of the aisle. And then on this day, I had to tell them to wait to approach the bus until I open the doors. That establishes a pattern that maybe they're just not listening to me, and we need to do a little bit more in terms of discipline to build respect. Okay, so those are the 5 things I tell new drivers. Hi, this is Paul at Bus Talk. This section we call the lighter side. This is where we talk about the joy and fun of being a school bus driver and working with the kids. I'm going to share with you a few pieces of artwork that have been given to me by some of the children over the years. This is just 3 drawings that I've been given in the past year that touched me, and so that I saved them, and I'd like to share them with you. The first one was a drawing given to me when I changed routes, and it's just a geometrical rainbow drawing, and in the caption it says, the rainbow best school bus driver. And this one really touched me because I just love the rainbow image. And the second image also has rainbows in it. This one has rainbows, a big sun, and a flower, and what kind of looks like to me like maybe a bird, but I can't really tell. But it's just real special and bright, and you can tell that the kids put a lot of effort into drawing it. The last one I want to share with you is a drawing of a Pokemon character. For you that are not familiar with Pokemon, Pokemon is a Japanese animation concept with trading cards and a game, and they're these little very imaginative creatures that come on gaming cards, and the kids collect them and trade the cards. And this one is a picture of what's called a Pikachu, and Pikachu is a very precocious little yellow character that's in the Pokemon series. So with that, I just wrap this section up called the lighter side, sharing with you some of the art that the children make for you when you're their school bus driver.